Thank you, viewer. I want to take you through. Maybe you love to see where these people have been sleeping, and maybe my cameraman will follow me along. And this building has been hosting the men for the past 2 weeks. In this building, this is where they have been doing their things. This is where they have been sleeping, and God has been blessing them. It is not a fancy place or a bed of roses whereby they have been sleeping, but they have been humble enough to ensure that they sleep here, and they have been cool, and God has been blessing them. Maybe my cameraman will follow along, and maybe you will have a peep inside. You may see a few things here and there. So this is the place, and as my cameraman will be showing you around, may God bless you, and maybe you will have a beautiful day. We want to interview one of the missionaries here, and maybe he will share his view and his concerns, his thoughts about this mission and how it has been. Maybe I will ask first to know your name. What is your name? Maybe you can increase your voice a little bit.
My name is Vincent Nyangena.
Vincent Nyangena.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a missionary. Have you been doing this before? It is your first time.
I've been doing this before. This is my fourth mission.
This is your fourth mission.
Yeah.
That means you are an experienced missionary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how has it been in this place that you visited in Machakha, Webuye West, Bungoma County?
The experience has been good. It's been challenges here and there, but the challenges that make the mission be alive.
To be lively.
Yeah.
And maybe from your experience, you did visitation to houses here in Machakha.
Yeah.
How did the host receive you?
They're so welcoming. I can see they're generally welcoming.
They're generally welcoming.
Yeah.
Did they welcome the message, or there was some resistance that you encountered?
They really welcome the message, but I had never experienced any resistance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice to know. Thank you for your feedback. And I can see you're trying to be sharp today. It is on Sabbath day.
Exactly.
Okay, may God bless you.
Amen.
Thank you. I want to take you through this hostel, or maybe you can call it a dorm, whereby people have been sleeping here for the last 2 weeks. And today, maybe we will ask a few of them questions and see what they're going to answer regarding the mission that they have been conducting this place for about two weeks. Maybe my cameraman will follow along. We can see around here there are people who are ironing. Today it is a Sabbath day. Others are sleeping. These guys have sacrificed a lot because they are sleeping on the floor, but they are doing well and they're happy. Nobody's complaining. Now maybe I will include some guys here. They are doing some ironing. Viewer, you can see the trouser, the pair of trouser has been ironed to the sharpness that it is required. Yes. Now Shadrach has said his experience has been good, or maybe we'll share with us. Is it your first time, or it has been something that you've been doing before going to missions? You're an experienced missionary.
It's not the first time. This my
This is the third time going to mission. Oh, that's
not
nice.
a KAPOSDA.
KAPOSDA.
But in the others.
You've attended other missions. Oh, that's good. Now, what has been your experience? Has this particular mission been different with the others, or they are just the same?
I believe that every mission is a learning experience.
It's a learning
experience.
Yeah.
We get blessed daily. The learning from new experiences, meeting new people from different places, and pleased that people around here are welcoming.
Is there anything unique that has happened in this mission that is different from other missions that you've attended?
What can I say is different? Really, I believe they are basically the same. The approach is the same, but I believe on my end, I've been I've learned, and I've been also uplifted more spiritually than in the previous past. Which we thank God for this.
Oh, that's beautiful. And what about your experience? You see, you people are Adventists.
Yeah.
And this area you visited, what is your evaluation? Is it an area whereby people are aware of Adventism, or they're totally unaware of Adventism?
From what I've gotten is that there's some people who have got the light, but it's like I can basically see they're backslidden. And there are those who have not received the light at all.
Okay.
Yeah, but we thank God that they were ready to receive the light.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good to know. And what about those who have not received the light? Were they surprised to know about the new truth? So it is something that they received with calmness.
They received it with calmness. They were eager to learn. The good thing is that they are all ready to receive Christ.
Okay, thank you, brother. Let me believe and hope that the seed you planted is going to bear fruits.
We thank God for this.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, viewer. And now I want to interview another missionary here. Maybe I'll start by asking him his name. What is your name, brother?
Elder Fidel.
Elder Fidel.
That's true.
Wow, that's wonderful to know. And Elder Fidel, in this mission of Machakha, I don't know, first maybe you tell us what has been your role.
So in the mission,
Yes.
yeah, I thank God for being here and the opportunity to be part of this mission.
Yeah.
My role is I'm a missionary.
You're a missionary. That's wonderful. But I'm told that you've been acting on part of spirituality in this mission.
Yeah, I got an opportunity and I had the privilege to be part of the band team and coordinating workshops.
Okay. Wow, that's wonderful. There are several needs that when you come to a mission land, you need to meet those needs. But majorly, there's that spiritual need that you need to meet and satisfy the hosts and the people around that place. How has been your experience in trying to ensure that you supply enough spiritual food to these people?
Thank you so much for that question. Now God is faithful. And what I have learned from this mission, there has been a need. And because of the time frame, maybe 2 weeks would have not been enough. But the little opportunity we got, we ensured that the light we are having, we shared it with the members of Machakha.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're so receptive.
That's great.
And even today, as we finish, we expect a large number because that was from them.
Wow, that's wonderful. Now you talk about the time being not enough, like for the 2 weeks. Yeah. What do you think that can be done next time so that maybe we can achieve our goal target?
Yeah, we can borrow like from same organizations that they go ahead to do their missions for like 3 weeks.
Okay.
Because if this was the second week, people are familiar with you, you've made friends. So when you engage them, they start with you studying with a friend.
Wow.
So the third week, like it's not struggle like you're knowing someone for the first time. But even this far, we thank God that
So
still is done.
So you're saying there's that bonding aspect that is need to be brought in,
Yes.
and that requires time.
Yes.
And maybe you will tell me what has been a challenge spiritually, especially. Is there a challenge that you've encountered spiritually?
Yeah. You know, this is the first time for the missions with the KAPOSDA. I have attended 3 missions.
Okay.
No, 4. We started from Nyandarua. We went to Kericho. Last year we were at Makueni. And this year we are now at Machakha. But for the missions that I've attended, this is the first mission that we have encountered like someone who is demon possessed. And someone who was, and she's a she actually.
She's a woman.
And she was initiated in this from birth. And even right now we are still in the struggles with prayers, and we know God is going to deliver her.
So prayers are still in
Yes,
progress.
yes.
And
Even right now, before we go for the Sabbath, we will have to conduct some prayers, and then we'll have to visit her at their home, because there is where we have even
and maybe is there a worry that you see when people pray for a demon-possessed person? There's maybe some worry they have about the demons not getting out, or maybe there could be something that is required that is extra. What do you think?
their faith, like of a mustard seed. That is what I would say. It's faith.
Faith is
And God, and by the way, it was a struggle of 7 hours when we got down. 7 hours.
7. That is a long time indeed. And as you can see, and as you can tell, that the mission has been there, and God has been working with these people. And we want to thank God for everything that has been happening here. And viewer, we want to make sure that this is exclusive. You're getting each and every detail that is going to expose or maybe make you have the knowledge of how these missions are conducted. I want to thank you, and maybe we'll have more interviews later. Thank you, viewer. Welcome again. And here with me, standing here, is one of the speakers in these missions. He has been doing a great job. Maybe I will introduce him to you so that you learn of him. Thank you. Karibu Mwalimu. Yeah. What is your name?
Yeah, my name is Austin Katana.
Yeah.
I come from Kilifi. Yeah, but I'm working in.
You're working in Nakuru.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I reside.
Thank you. Maybe you will speak up a little bit so that we can get
Thank
your
you.
voice.
So my name is Austin Katana, and I come from Kilifi, and currently I'm working in Nakuru. That is actually where I connected to this mission. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Katana. You are mtumishi here.
Yeah, definitely. You can call me to music.
Thank you. That's a great opportunity to talk to you. And maybe I would like to know, you have gone to several missions before.
Sure.
Yeah. How has this mission been different with the others, maybe from your experience?
Yeah, so thank you very much for that question. Actually, as you have said, that I have been in missions before, and actually, my experience in all those missions, I can say, first and foremost, is your organization. Yeah, I can see that you guys have organized yourself, and you have that unity. You have that zeal for God, and even the way you do your things, actually, it is very much totally different from the other missions. However, in missions, of course, we cannot miss 1, 2, 3 things going amiss, but at least I can say you guys in your organization, you are very, very much not to perfection, but at least you are trying. Yeah.
Thank you, Mtumishi. And maybe from your experience when you speak at the pulpit, what has been your maybe your perception about people receiving the message?
Yeah, that is also another field that I can say really it has been different from the other missions that I've attended. Actually, comparing like the one I did in December last year in Homa Bay, people were not very much receptive of the gospel there. But here I can see people do come, they do respond to the calls that we make there. And the only challenge that I can say maybe it is that these people are not very much coming out open during the daytime. They like have a kind of fear. So that is the only challenge. But actually the visitations that I've done during my presentation there, people are very much listening in their shops and wherever they are, they are very much listening. And maybe this is also worth noting that when I come to the end of my presentation and I call people to stand, you see people standing praying with you because they have actually seen the thing that you have presented has an impact in their life, and therefore that is a good show to the speaker.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. I'm aware that the message you're presenting in this area is the message of the Seventh-day Adventist,
sure.
Which is a message that is based on the Bible totally.
Yeah, sure.
And what about these people in this area? Is that message new to them, or it is something that they are aware of?
Yeah, I think that question I can answer. I can best answer it basing on the denominations that exist around this area, and I believe you will agree with me that the denomination here that are very much common is the Friends Church. We have the Seventh-day Adventist Church of God, who are very, very much aligned like the Salvation Army, which is also common in this area. So you will find out that the denomination which are very popular here, they don't really into the Bible. And therefore, they see like the Bible studies that we do there, the prophecies that we open them up there, actually it's totally something new to them. And therefore, it is like they're asking themselves this question that have we really been reading the Bible, you know? So the response that we see of these people around here, it is because they are not really into the Bible, and therefore that is a good thing, because their minds are opened into the realities of how they should react to the messages that they receive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Maybe the last question to you, Mtumishi.
Okay.
I'm aware that the challenges you've encountered in this place are in variety, but there's one particular challenge I'm aware of, I'm told of, about some spiritual issues that you encountered from yesterday. How has that been? Maybe you shed light on that.
Yeah, that is a very, very good question, so that people can also know that in the even as we are working for God, it is not always that things will be smooth. Sometimes we encounter the devil himself in the areas that we do work. So as you have been asking, we've been having this case from yesterday. It came clearly yesterday. But of course, I had an opportunity to visit with the home of that lady. And actually that day, I was feeling like I was not myself, actually. And there was no any prior communication. So we went there. She requested for prayers. And of course, time was not on our side. And therefore, we just prayed and we left. So 2 days later, that is yesterday now, is when now we got a report that there was a previous visit. So they went there. And yesterday, actually, for anyone who saw me yesterday, that is Friday, sorry, I was not myself. So I was expecting to meet with those people whom we agreed that they would come so that we can have a talk. Those people who we've been calling them so that we can have a talk. And as we were waiting for them, time was elapsing, and therefore I felt like I should go pray. I went to my room. I went down on my knees, and in the process of praying, I went off, totally, completely off for 30 minutes. Okay? So, not as I wanted to know actually what was happening after the 30 minutes now, is when I realized it is the same time that Ezra, my fellow speaker, was in the home of that lady. And he was really passing through a lot in that home. So after that, of course, they came back in the afternoon, and it is when now he gave us the story. So I told him during that very, very time, I was also passing through a lot on my side. Of course, we prayed to God together that God may speak to this lady, that she may come to the meeting. And indeed, in the evening, she came to the meeting. And therefore, after my presentation in the evening, we left Ezra doing his last presentation, and therefore we came here. We asked the friend to that lady whom we were communicating during the day, so that she can at least see her through coming. So who is Hannah? So Hannah brought her, and of course we had some prayers. And actually, the devil is real. The devil is real. We have spent almost 6 hours praying with the lady and not yet seeing her responding positively. But, sometimes we understand also, because you see, these are things that she holds them dear. Okay? So it is until she reaches a point that she says, I have left this world and I follow Jesus, is when now God can embrace you. But before you say, I leave the world, you are still clinging to the world. It is very, very hard, because you see, God is not a God that will force you to leave the things that you love best. Okay? So, it is an experience. We still pray for the lady, and we still pray for so many other cases that are in the same shoes as they see the lady we are praying with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mtumishi, for that elaborate
Thank you very much.
explanation.
Thank
May
you very
God bless you. Maybe you'll have another time to talk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you.
Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Ezra Ayuka Mindari. I've been in this mission here in Bungoma, Machakha with the KAPOSDA group, and I've been handling prophecy, and indeed the Lord has been working mightily. Christ said that the harvest is plentiful, but the harvesters are few. And so we ask the Lord of the harvest to send the harvesters to the harvest field, because the harvest is ripe and plentiful. The people of Machakha has been responding well, and they've been really resonating well with the messages, especially the prophetic message, the time we live in, and the urgency of Christ's second return. And we hope the Lord has glorified His name, even as we continue to do follow up. But there are those who've given their lives for Christ, and we hope that the Lord will continue to work in their lives. Even those who in the valley of decision, we hope the Lord will help them make the decision. Let us get involved, because Jesus is coming soon and the harvest is ripe. Get ready, get someone ready, for Christ is coming. Thank you. God bless you.
Welcome back, dear viewer. So, just a quick recap. I just want us to walk through the kitchen. We see how these guys have been surviving here for 2 weeks, what they have been eating, and yeah. So maybe we can just take a walk with my cameraman inside the mess.
So for now we are preparing the meals. We have the gideri there. We want to do it for lunch, and we thank God because it has been a successful one. For the past 2 weeks, we have not faced any difficult challenges, but by God's grace, we thank God. Thank you.
Yeah. On mentioning challenges, you have not faced any, but some have been there.
Yeah.
So maybe you can just shed light into those little challenges.
Okay, for
And,
example, the challenge we have, we lack enough firewood, sometimes we lack enough water. Yeah.
Oh,
These
so
are the challenges we have.
firewood and water. But the food has been sufficient to supply all the missionaries here.
Actually, yeah,
That's well, that's good. And do you think there's anything else, shortcoming that you've seen that maybe the next time as we prepare for another mission, we can look into?
actually, for example, issue about the firewood, I think the firewood should be ready for the 2 weeks for the mission to be completed successfully. Yeah,
So it's only firewood
it's only firewood
okay,
and water.
and water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, viewer. Welcome again to this exclusive interview regarding the mission that has happened there for the past 2 weeks. Now, with me here is the chairman who was chairing the committee that organized this mission. And maybe we will have to hear from him, his views, and the journey he has gone through to ensure that this mission has been a success. Maybe I will bring him in, and maybe we'll know what are his names, and maybe we'll start from there.
Thank you so much. I'm Lumati Sostin. I've been chairing the mission committee. Yes.
So, Mr. Lumati, now that the mission has come to an end, when you look back, what are some of the things that you look back and say, okay, we have done this and that, and it has contributed to the success of this mission?
Number one, we must appreciate the zeal and the strength that we began with, beginning from the missionaries themselves, and when we get to the mission committee members with prayers, and that gives us the strength to acknowledge that God has been through for us, and we appreciate God for that now we are here. We've been able to reap or harvest 14 souls for people in Machakha, and we hope and believe that we're going to have a strong church around here.
Thank you. Now, before we even talk about the 14 souls that have been the result of this mission, maybe I'd like to ask you, what was your initial plan about this mission? Like, how did it begin, and you decided that you're going to come to Machakha in Bungoma County?
Thank you so much. While it was at the beginning of this year, when we had the first meeting with the committee members, we get a number of proposals from members. Then we have few considerations that we put in place to ensure that where we're going, it really needs this message. So it was fortunate that this mantle fell in Bungoma at Machakha, because during as we were doing the examinations to consider where we can go, this place was considered to be unentered. A number of churches that are here is very few, and that's why we popped in to be here in Machakha.
And now, regarding the issue you're talking about being an entered area, how did you find the ground when you now came to the ground? How was it?
Of course, contrary to the expectations, we didn't expect to get a very receptive congregation or receptive residents around this place, because when you go where someone does not know, it raises a lot of questions that why these new people are around this place, and we just welcome them in our houses. And that is the unique thing that I've got to learn about people in Machakha. Despite that it is an entered area, they are very receptive, they are very positive, and we appreciate God for that.
Thank you. Among your programs, when I was going through, I saw that there was a program of visitations. And you have told us already that in visitations people are receiving you very well. Maybe is there any challenge that you faced during visitations that you may want to highlight today?
Yeah, sure. We've had a number of challenges. Majorly, it has been with some other denominations, whereby you go and people are like, you cannot pray in my house. So it has been a great challenge, but that has not been that huge. We can say it has been a huge challenge. It's only in a few selected houses or homes. When we say language barrier around this place, it's not that problematic for people to speak English or Kiswahili, but Kiswahili has majorly dominated this area, so it was easy for us to be able to communicate with the residents around this place.
Now, Mr. Lumati, maybe earlier on I talked with your pastor who was conducting the baptismal. He told me that their expectations on regard to the harvest or the number of the souls that they expected to harvest, he said he didn't expect us to harvest 14 souls. He had expected to harvest about 5 people. What was your expectation now from the chairman point of view?
From my point of view, depending on how or the first time we stepped foot at the site, seeing on how people were responding to the message, for me, this moment I can say is above average, because I expected like around 15, but it has only missed one. So I can say it hit my expectations.
It hit your expectations. Now, regarding on the logistic issues, I'm aware and I have background knowledge about the issue you had on terms of financing, especially on transport issues. What can you learn from that experience, and maybe how did it affect your preparation and the mission as a whole?
Yeah, sure. When it comes to financial constraints on our side, especially when it came to transport issues, we got issues that we were denied bus, so we had to hire. But it dented us mostly. We were not able to do as per how we expected when it comes to welfare, because we've not done to what we wanted to do because we had financial constraints. And that one has made me to learn that when we are planning for such events, we should be able to foresee all upcoming challenges when it comes to finances, so that when this happens, we should know how we can handle it, so we don't get stuck on the way.
And now, from that experience, what are the key points that you can take out of that, and the recommendations maybe you can have as the points that you learned and you don't want them to be repeated in future?
Yeah, sure. The points that we need to take is that when we're making plans, we need to ensure that all things that we put in place, we don't put our expectations on one thing and forget of another plan. So let us, when we're planning, like when, for example, the transport is what happened to us, when we're doing planning, let us plan not expecting that somebody from somewhere is going to be able to help us, but we focus that this thing is ours. We're going to do this and this and this, and we work upon the finances to ensure we get to our target, to avoid such dentes when it comes to finances.
Now, Lumati, regarding your role as the chairperson of this committee and the whole mission as a complete thing, I would like to know, like, you're a young person, and you have been managing this whole mission, and there are other people who are involved who are older than you, others are church elders and the pastors. How have you managed to maneuver through maybe the obstacles and the challenges that you may have faced through the whole process?
Oh, sure. Of course, there's nothing that happens without challenges. And when it comes to managing someone who is older than yourself or someone who is more younger than yourself, myself, I like listening so much than I talk. So I give chance to suggestions, then we come up with one rigid solution that will be able to help all of us. Because when you say when you listen to people so much, sometimes it gets to be problematic at the end of the day. But for me, I've been able to manage because I have had a strong team that is encouraging. Also, those eldest people to myself, they have been able to help me. When you ask them, they give you their suggestions, and then we work upon what we think can be of good help us. And then challenges, of course, they must be there. We have maybe sometimes you have uncooperative committee members, but with the cooperation of others, of course, they say in Kiswahili, kuvunjika kwa mwiko sio mwisho wa kupika ugali. Well, na ni kwamba we are in Bungoma, I have to say that. So when one or two members errs, then that does not stop us from aiming at what we are supposed to aim.
Now, I'm aware that you came here about 50-something of you. Yeah. That's quite a large number of missionaries that you had to manage and ensure that they're all in tandem with your plan and what you expect of them. Sure. Maybe you can share with us, how has it been managing 50 individuals who are your age mates? Has there been any issue amongst them, or is there anything that you may recommend them or applaud them for doing, maybe in a way that made you feel that they have done to expectations?
Oh, sure. Managing, it's not that huge number of people, but 56 has been a manageable number when it comes to KAPOSDA members and also outsiders that we've had around.
because they have been cooperative. Of course, there is no market that lacks a madman. Those few people who think they can bring problems around, but we've been able to manage a number of them, not even a number, most of them, if not one or two, who have not been able to be up to task. But we thank God because we've managed.
Okay, now finally, regarding the souls that you have been able to harvest as a result of this crusade, what are you going to tell those people who are going to remain with those souls? What are your expectations from them?
Yeah, it happens that mostly when people are baptized through missions, the church gets to forget, or I can say assume, not that way, but I want to urge those members of Miendo SDA Church that they should not leave these people alone. They should always do follow-ups on how they are doing, because we have those also who we reached, but they have not been able to be baptized. All I urge those residents around this place that they should be doing follow-ups, they should be checking up on them to keep them on track, so that they can also know that where we are safe and we have good people around us.
Thank you. Now, regarding your theme, this theme is understanding the writings on the wall. Do you think that the messages presented there aligned themselves with the theme, or is there any deviation that you made?
We've not had deviations, because the speakers, when actually they're the ones who helped us come up with the theme of the mission, the theme song and the key verse, so they have been able to teach in line with the theme itself. And we thank God, because the message, depending on how people have been giving themselves and coming in numbers, the message has been home.
Thank you. Thank you for your time here with us, and may God bless you. Continue with the good work.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you and welcome back again. In our studio, we now have the elder in charge of these students who have been here for this mission in 2 weeks. And let's also have a view from him, and we want to give him an opportunity to share his thoughts. Elder, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Yeah, labda utujulishe majina yako kamili.
Majina ni David Odwar.
David Odwar. David Odwar, wewe ni nani katika shughuli mzima ya mission?
Katika hii shughuli ya mission, I'm the elder in charge of the Kabete National Polytechnic. 2023 mission of Machakha. Yes, Machakha market. Machakha.
Bungoma County. Nashukuru sana Elder. Labda kabla hatujaenda kwa shughuli mingi, tujue mambo ya mission vile ilikuwa, ningependa nikuulize, imekuwa aje kufanya kazi na wanafunzi hawa ambao ni vijana wadogo, umri labda wa watoto wako? Imekuwa aje hiyo experience?
Anyway, I'm happy because the students which I've been working with, they are very humble, hard-working students, and they sacrifice their time to do God's work.
Kwa hivyo hakuna jambo ambalo ungesema limekuwa likisimama, ama kitu ambacho kinakufanya ama kinakusukuma ufanye kazi na hao watu? Umesema kwamba ni watu wazuri.
Yeah.
Hakuna jambo ambalo linaweza kukusukuma kando utoke kwao?
Unless otherwise, but since I start working with the students, I have no reason to say that I cannot work with them, because they are really committed in God's work. And that's my happiness when I work with people who are committed to do God's work.
Na mpaka sasa imekuwa ni muda wa kiasi gani kufanya nao kazi?
It has been long, because on the line of mission, we started with the Kandara, then we moved to Nyandarua, then from Nyandarua went to Kericho, then from Kericho went to Makueni, and now we are in Machakha. So we have worked with the students, with the different students in the same institute. Some finish their courses, leave the college, and the one coming in they just have the same spirit of doing God's work.
Thank you. Inamaanisha mumefanya misheni kama takriban 5 kama sijakosea.
Kama 5, takriban 5.
Kwa hizo misheni 5 ambazo mmefanya, sijui nieleze ni jambo gani ambalo ni tofauti katika hii misheni na hizo misheni zingine 5. Labda hii kuna kitu ambacho ni tofauti na hizo zingine?
Yeah, I can say so because especially in Machakha, the community plus the churches around, they were so supportive in leading us to the houses in that place and being with us all the time where we stay at the field where we are doing the work. They are always with us and they are supporting us in one way or the other. So that's the difference, because there are some areas we go, we don't even have some people who can translate even the language where we are, the churches, they don't have members, they don't have youths which can support us in doing such work. But in Machakha, the youths are ready to walk with us from door to door. All the days we were in Machakha.
Kweli kabisa. Naona hapo imekuwa tofauti kidogo na hizo zingine. Lakini nikuulize hapa Machakha, kuna leo hii ni mwisho wa mission hii ambao tumefanya. Na naambiwa na chairperson kwamba tumebatiza watu takriban 14. Je, namba hii ni tofauti, kuna utofauti gani kati ya hii namba na hizo mission za awali?
The number is very okay because they are not only 14, because we have some who are
So, asante. Leo ulikuwa unatueleza jinsi ama experience yako vile imekuwa affected na yule msichana aliyekuwa amepagawa hapa. Hebu tueleze zaidi.
Yeah, because when I was in the room, I heard people praying in the hall. Then I decided to walk in. After walking in, I found a lady was laid down and people were praying. And the lady at times makes a lot of noise, conversing and doing other things. So, nashukuru Mungu kwa sababu those who are working on that, I think they are experienced people, because they do the prayer. They ask the lady, what's up, what is the problem? The lady talk about the family, how the grandfather did them something which makes them not well in one way or the other. And it was a very, 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 very hard thing, because those people who are doing that work, they prayed almost overnight to that young girl. So it was not an easy thing, but I'm happy because they were determined. Even today, they didn't even join the services of the Sabbath, because they were taking the lady to their home for a prayer. And we are happy because the report we are getting, even the old Mzee testified that he knows what is happening with the young girl. So we are just praying that that young lady will get healed so that he can go out and do God's work.
Asante. Nawashukuru pia kwa jambo ambalo umelifanya. Kwa hakika ni Mungu anayetenda mambo kama haya, na anafanya yawe yanawezekana na yanafanyika. Na nikuulize swali la mwisho labda. Kutokana na labda vile umetazama hii mishoni yote mzima, ni mambo yapi ambao ungependa kutaja ambao yamekuwa ni mambo ni changamoto, na yale mambo ambao pia yamekuwa ni mazuri kulingana na mipango ambao mlikuwa mmeiweka?
Yeah, I think our plan was so nice, but with some few challenges at the time we were preparing to leave the college to come for mission, because something just cropped in that we were told we cannot use the college bus. We were to look for another bus, public bus. And we thank God because we made it and we came to the place, and God used his people, the student and others, for the work. And the other challenge is about the church, the host church. Yeah. We had some few challenges on the side of host church, because when we met with them the first time, they had a lot of promises which made us to relax that things will be very okay. But at the end of the day, when we came, they were not fully did what they promised us to do. So those are the challenges, but we are happy because God has done it. We thought that we could not make it. We could not make it in 2 weeks according to the finance which we had. But through God's blessings, we are through, and we thank God for that.
Asante sana Elda, Mungu akubariki, na asante kwa kazi nzuri ambayo unaifanya. Wacha tuzidi kuomba Mungu na kuhakikisha kwamba tunaendelea kusambaza injili.
Thank you. God bless you.
Asante, Mungu akubariki. Mtazamaji, tunasema ni asante kwa nafasi ambao umechukua kuweza kutusikiza. Umesikiza vile wanasema misheni imekuwa na changamoto 2-3, na Mungu amewezesha kupitia yote. Wacha nikuage na Mungu aweze kubariki. Asante. Karibu tena mtazamaji kwa kipindi cha pili. Hapa pamoja nami niko na mmoja kati ya watu ambao waliweza kubatizwa siku ya leo, ambao tunawaita ni watu ambao wamezaliwa upya. Sasa ningependa labda kuongea naye aweze kutueleza imekuwa aje mpaka akaweza kukubali kupata ubatizo siku ya leo. Ni matokeo ambao ni yametokea kwa crusade imefanyika hapa Machakha takriban wiki kama 2 hivi. Karibu na labda watusikize kutoka kwake. Mami, hujambo?
Sijambo.
Ningependa nikuulize jina lako ni nani?
Agneta na Simiyu.
Mama Agneta, nikuulize una miaka mingapi?
38.
Hapa Machakha ni mahali ambapo ulizaliwa ama ulihamia kuja kuishi hapa?
Nilihamia kuja kuishi hapa.
Si mahali ambapo umezaliwa ama familia yako imekaa? Asante. Na mkutano huu wa injili ambao umefanyika hapa wa takriban wiki kama 2 ambao umesababisha leo uweze kubatizwa. Je, umewahi pata ujumbe kama huu siku zako za nyuma?
Nilipata ujumbe mzuri kwa vile mlikuja nyumbani mkanitembelea, mkanipomea nyumba ilikuwa imekaa tu hivi free, nikaamua nikasema wacha ni enjoy kwa hii kanisa. Angalau huku mbele nitakula matunda.
Asante sana. Sasa sijui hapo nyuma kama umewahi pata ujumbe wa Kiadventista kabla ya hii crusade hapa.
Sijapata.
Uko umepata ujumbe kama huo? Na hapo awali ulikuwa unashiriki kanisa lipi?
Friends Bulafu.
Ulikuwa unashiriki Friends ambao ni kanisa liko hapa karibu?
Hapana, liko mbali.
Liko mbali. Na je, ningekuuliza katika yale mafundisho yaliyokuwa yanafunzwa pale, ni jambo lipi uliweza kujifunza ambalo ni tofauti na imani yako ya hapo awali?
Nilijifunza tu kanisa ni kanisa tu, lakini nimekubali sasa nimeingia kwa hii yenu. Angalau labda huku mbele niko na watoto wako nyumbani. Sasa nilisema nitakukaa watoto tena tushiriki tu nao kwa kanisa moja kwa vile mzee ameamua.
Asante. Au unasema mzee wako ameweza pia kuamua na kubatizwa?
Hata yeye pia tumetoka na yeye motoni.
Uko na watoto wangapi?
Niko na watoto 5.
Wote ni watoto ambao umekubali wajiunge na kanisa hili la Kiadventista?
Sasa unajua hao wengine wako mbali, lakini hapa ndio niko nao 3.
Uko na 3 hapa? Na hao 3 wote wamekubali kujiunga na kanisa hili? Na nikuulize labda kwa ufahamu wako wewe kama mama, kwa hizo siku ambazo umepata hii injili, ni jambo lipi ambalo lilikusukuma sana? Labda kuna jambo ambalo ulisikia ukaona hili ni jambo lingefanya wewe ukajitoa kubatizwa. Je, ningependa kujua ni kitu kipi kilikuguza sana?
Kitu kenye kilinikuza vile mlikuja nyumbani mkanipomea nyumba, nikasema sasa hii kanisa yenye huwa naenda hakuna usaidizi, ndio nikaamua sasa nikajoin kwa hii kanisa.
Asante sana. Na je, nikuulize unatazamia vipi sasa safari hii ambayo umeianza ya Ukristo ambao ni maisha mapya? Je, unatazamia vipi huu mwendo? Labda kuna jambo ambalo unalitazamia, kuna mambo ambayo umesema utakuwa unafanya?
Hapana, tutakuwa tu tunaendelea na nyinyi. Penye mtakuwa mnaenda mtakuwa mnaniombea. Ndio angalau nikuwako tofauti nitoke penye nilikuwa.
Asante. Na kuna jambo limeguzwa kuhusu Sabato. Wakati mwingi jambo hilo linakuwa changamoto kwa watu wengi kwa sababu siku ya Sabato unafaa kupumzika na kuacha kazi zako kabisa. Sijui, najua katika ubatizo mlikula kiapo mkisema kwamba mumeamua mtakuwa mnaitunza Sabato takatifu ambao ni siku ya Jumamosi. Sijui jambo hilo unalichukulia vipi?
Nitachukulia tu vile nimeamua Jumamosi nitakuwa naenda kanisa. Nitakuwa nafanya siku nyingine.
Asante sana mami. Tunashukuru na tutazidi kukuombea na Mungu aweze kuwa pamoja nawe. Pia asante kwa muda wako ambao umeweza kujitolea kuzungumza nasi.
Asante sana, hata nyinyi pia mbarikiwe.
Asante.
Amen.
Welcome again viewer to this exclusive interview. With me here is the treasurer of this mission and we are going to interview her and hear her views. She is actually the first lady in our interview today and maybe let's get rolling. Welcome, sister. What are your names?
My name is Anne Abwire Oma.
Anne Abwire Oma. Yeah. What is your role in the committee of this mission?
In this committee, I'm serving as the mission treasurer. Yes, that is my role.
So you're the treasurer of this mission?
Yes.
Basically, we have the whole bank for the mission here.
Exactly.
Maybe we are going now to measure things finance. How has been your experience with finances? Maybe you will elaborate that.
My experience with the finances, now for this mission, it hasn't been that challenging as compared to the first mission, to the previous mission in Makueni, because at least now I had the experiences, so it wasn't that difficult for me.
We have had a lot of things from other interviewees that we have talked to. Maybe you will give us the financial aspect of this mission. Now, what was your target, as in the budget for this mission as a whole?
We had budgeted for 438,000, yes, for the whole of this mission.
Did you get that money, or was that money at your hand when you were doing that budget?
Not really. In fact, by the time we were even coming for the mission, we just had half of the amount we had targeted.
You had half of the amount?
Yes.
And how did you manage to to now adjust your budget maybe to fit or to suit your now finance?
Of course, with the help of other committee members, we had to readjust our budget. We now had to consider the things that are of so much importance. So we had to go with those ones first, and things like that don't have a lot of impact, we had to do away with them at least for meanwhile, so that we can be able to manage with what we have at hand. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And what was your major financial challenge that you faced during this mission?
In terms of what now?
In terms of finances, is there a major financial issue that you face? Maybe there was something that you had budgeted and it did not come out according to what you are looking into, like money-wise. Is there something that you had assigned a certain amount of money and maybe you found it is more expensive than your budget?
Not really. Not really, because for the things that we had budgeted for and the amount we had maybe set for them, it was just accordingly. And to our advantage, we had budgeted with extra cash. So even if challenges occurred, like we didn't get the means of transport from the school, at least there was a balance.
And how did that affect you, not getting the means of transport from school? Because I'm told that you had put your hopes in receiving a bus from school. Now you didn't receive the bus and you had to hire a bus. How did that affect your financial state?
Oh, it really affected us to a very great extent, because there were some things very important, like Bibles. We needed to purchase them, but we now find we couldn't manage to purchase such kinds of things. And you see, they're very important, especially when it comes to the mission. Again, another great challenge that we faced because of that, it comes now to the foodstuffs. You see, so many foodstuffs had to be done away with, and you find most of our menu, we were just repeating like the same kind of food every time, you see. Okay. And many members, they were complaining, you see. That is not what they were expecting. Okay. Exactly.
Now, from your perspective, regarding to this mission and compared to other missions, financially, what can you say? What is the comparison?
Financially?
Yeah.
Now that I've been in this seat of the treasury for these two missions, this one, it has been a bit difficult, because now you can imagine we had set a target of 438,000, but by the time we were coming for the mission, we only had raised a half of the amount. As compared to the other mission, we had the money. It was in full quantity, because we even managed to have an extra balance, you see. But again, with this one now, because we didn't reach our target, it was a bit challenging. Mm-hmm. Like I've said before, we had to do away with things that were of importance to us.
All right. Mm-hmm. What are some of the recommendations that you can give, maybe for the planning team that will come next year to adjust for a better planning next year?
My recommendation, I have a number of them, but number one, I would say, let them not rely so much on the promises given by the school administration, because this is not happening for the first time. I'm told before, I think it was in Kericho, those who went for the Kericho mission, they had also been promised the school bus, but unfortunately they were not given. It's happening again with us. We had been promised the school bus, but we were not given that bus, and it really affected us. So what I'll tell them is they shouldn't rely so much on the school promises. Another recommendation, let now the leaders who are in place try to talk to their members, try to convince their members, at least let them give, because one of the challenges that I've faced or I've seen happening is that many people, they're not willing. I don't know if it's selfishness or lack, because they're saying ni comrades, such things. But if people could have that giving heart, it could be better, because I believe 1 + 1 can add up to even millions.
Definitely, that is true. And thank you for your time, Anna. I'm really honored to have you in this seat today, and may God bless you on the good work that you continue doing.
Thank you.
May God bless you. So that is it, our view from the treasurer point of view. We want to end it at here for now, and maybe we'll have more to come
next. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ezra Ayuka Nyangari. I've been in this mission in Bungoma, Machakha with the KAPOSDA Group, and I've been handling prophecy, and indeed the Lord has been working mightily. Christ said that the harvest is plentiful, but the harvesters are few. And so we ask the Lord of the harvest to send the harvesters to the harvest field, because the harvest is ripe and plentiful. The people of Machakha has been responding well, and they've been really resonating well with the messages, especially the prophetic message, the time we live in, and the urgency of Christ's second return. And we hope the Lord has glorified His name, even as we continue to do follow up. But there are those who've given their lives for Christ, and we hope that the Lord will continue to work in their lives. Even those who will be value of decision, we hope the Lord will help them make the decision. Let us get involved, because Jesus is coming soon and the harvest is ripe. Get ready, get someone ready, for Christ is coming. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Finally, the harvest is here. The fruits of 2 weeks crusade in Machakha. And in this river, Miendo River, it is where the baptism is taking place. So my cameraman is going to go around and show you the souls that have been renewed in Jesus Christ today.
Asante mtakatifu wetu kwa sababu umekuwa kiongozi wetu. Hapa tuko kwenye ubatizo, tunaomba ya kwamba mkono wako wa neema na rehema nyingi uwe pamoja nasi. Wote ambao wanaenda kubatizwa wasamehe makosa yao, wanapozaliwa kupya andamana pamoja nao. Baba, tunapoanza tuanze pamoja nawe na tumalize pamoja nawe, katika jina la Yesu tunaomba. Amen. Nambatiza Nicholas katika jina la Baba, Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu. Nambatiza Kristo katika jina la Baba, Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu. Tunambatiza Edith katika jina la Baba, Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu. Tunambatiza William katika jina la Baba, Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu. Tunambatiza katika jina la Baba, Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu. Wengine wakaribie. Tunambatiza Mama katika jina la Baba, Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu. Nambatiza Amos katika jina la Baba, Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu.
Sasa narudi
Nambatiza Solomon katika jina la Baba, Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu.
Sasa narudi pendo lako Bwana, Bwana
Nambatiza Korinthi katika jina la Baba,
narudi nyumbani kwa upendo nipokee naja nyumbani hilo tumaini nataka nilitoa yote
Nambatiza Wafula katika jina la Baba, Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu. Nambatiza Levi katika jina la Baba, Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu.
Asante sana. Ningependa tena kukaribisha wakati huu ambapo tumemaliza ubatizo dakika chache zilizopita. Na hapa pamoja nami ni pastor wa hii district. Labda tungependa kumuuliza maswali mawili matatu, atueleze imekuwaje katika safari hii ama crusade iliyokuwa inafanyika pale Machakha. Pastor, karibu kwanza, labda tuambie jina lako.
Kwa majina ni mchungaji Imai Patrick, ambaye ni wa wilaya ya West, Msihu West, na nashukuru vijana wa Kabete kuweza kuja kufanya crusade hapa. Na crusade yao ijapokuwa ilikuwa na changamoto, lakini imekuwa ya fanaka. Imekuwa ya fanaka. Changamoto ambazo wamekuwa nazo tangu waanze, mvua imekuwa fudilisho. Wakati mwingine inabidi wasimamishe mkutano kwa ajili ya kuweza kuacha mvua iendelee kufanya nini? Kunyesha. Na tunashukuru Mungu maana walijitoa sana kufanya kazi. Baada ya mvua tu walikuwa wanaanza kufanya mkutano.
Na je, pastor, nikuulize, kati ya mavuno ambayo mmeyapata siku ya leo baada ya hii crusade, je, ni jambo ambalo mlikuwa mnatarajia ama mlikuwa mnatarajia labda watu wengi zaidi ama wachache?
Tuseme hii ni mpango wa Mungu. Unajua kila kitu inapangwa na Mungu. Sisi hatuwezi kutabiri. Tunaweza kutabiri, tunaweza kutarajia, kumbe matarajio yetu sio mpango wa nani? Sio mpango wa Mungu. Hata leo hii tulitarajia kubatiza watu ngapi? 5. Lakini tumeona tumebatiza watu 14 kama sikosei. Tumebatiza watu 10 na ngapi? 14. Ambapo unaona kama tungefix mawazo yetu kwa matarajio ya watu 5, ambayo ni mawazo ya kibinadamu ambaye haiwezi ingia. Lakini mawazo ya Mungu haiwezi pimwa, linganishwa na mawazo ya mwanadamu. Angalia mavuno ya watu 10 na ngapi? 14, ambayo Mungu leo aliweza kusungumusa nao na wakajitoa kuweza kubatizwa.
Asante sana. Na je, hao watu 14 kuna mahali mmetenga maalum ambapo wataanza kanisa pale ama mpango wenu ni vipi kuhusu hao watu 14?
Machakha kwenyewe iko na shule ya Sabato, ambapo hiyo shule ya Sabato iko na uwanja. Na hapo katika shule ya Sabato kuna washiriki wanashiriki. Hata leo hii kama tungekuwa na hata nyumba imejengwa, ijapokuwa matafari imepangwa ndani, ni kwamba tumekuwa na washiriki hapo, ambapo hawa sasa ambao wameongezeka wanakaribia kuwa kanisa.
Asante sana pastor. Na je, ni wazo gani ama katika zile changamoto ambazo mmepata, ni wazo gani ungependa kupatia wale ambao walipanga ama kuwa na huu mkutano hapa?
Kile ambacho ningependa kuwashauri ni kwamba sisi tumepewa mwito na Mungu. Na kwa sababu tumepewa mwito na Mungu, kazi yetu ni kuitikia kufanya. Na hakuna kazi isiyo na nini? Na changamoto. Wale ambao wamekuwa katika kazi hii, changamoto zote ambazo walikuwa wakipitia, hiyo ndio kwao hawakutarajia. Lakini kwa imani ni kwamba hakuna jambo linalofaulu bila nini? Changamoto. Bila changamoto.
Kweli kabisa.
Kwa hivyo hiyo nawafahamisha ya kwamba wanapojitoa kuwa na mkutano wowote kama hii, waelewe ya kwamba wanaenda pia kutana na nini? Na changamoto. Na changamoto inafanya mkutano kuweza kufaulu.
Asante pastor, nashukuru sana kwa muda wako.
Asante.
Mungu akubariki na asante kwa kazi nzuri unayofanya.
Mungu awabariki pia kwa kazi ambayo mnafanya.
Asante sana. Ningependa unisalimie.
Asante, ubarikiwe.
Mungu akubariki sana.
Niko hapa pamoja na mzee wa kanisa ambaye amekuwa na ushirikiano mzuri pamoja na kazi ambayo vijana wamefanya. Amekuwa katika ushirikiano mzuri sana na ameplay a very big part katika kazi ya kufaulisha vijana katika kazi hii. Hebu pia nampa nafasi aweze
sema jambo.
Yeah, asante sana mzee wa kanisa. Labda utajitambulisha kwa majina alafu tuendelee.
Asante. Jina langu naitwa Elda Hesbon Wepuhulu. Ndio hostel wa kanisa ambalo mkutano huu umefanyika katika sehemu ya Machakha.
Kanisa lenyewe labda linaitwa vipi?
Kanisa linaitwa Miendo. Miendo SDA Church liko katika district ya Misihu West. Station ya Bungoma, Western Kenya Conference. Inapatikana katika hii sehemu ya Webuye katika kaunti ya Bungoma.
Mzee, nadhani kuna kama mchungaji amesema hapo awali, yeye ni mchungaji tu, lakini nyinyi wazee ndio wao mnabaki na watu pale kwa ground, tunaweza sema. Nyinyi ndio mnashughulika na mambo ya watu kukua kiimani. Je, unaonelea vipi hao watu ambao wamebatizwa siku ya leo, watu 14? Unaweza weka mikakati ama kuna mikakati ambayo umepanga tayari ili kuhakikisha hawezi kupotoka ama kurudi nyuma?
Mikakati iko kwa sababu vile mchungaji amesema, kuna hiyo sehemu mahali ambapo tunaabudia, tunapanga kuweka hapo structure ambapo watakuwa wanaabudu, kwa sababu kuna washiriki ambao wanaendelea kushiriki katika sehemu hiyo. Kwa hivyo mikakati iko, na sisi ni kuwaombea tu ya kwamba wasiingie katika miteko ya shetani, bali wakipatikana kanisani kuna mafundisho iko, tumechipanga vizuri, watafundishwa. Kama watakuwa na maswali watapatikana. Tutafanya pia ushirika kuwatembelea. Pia kuna wengine ambao walikuwa wamejitolea, wamekubali lakini hawajajitolea kubatiza. Pia tutawasidi kuwafuatilia, tukifanya ushirika tukiwashauri ili watakapokubali pia wabatizwe waingie katika imani hii.
Asante sana mzee wa kanisa. Labda kama hakuna jambo la kuongezea, ningependa tumalizie hapa alafu tutakutana wakati mwingine.
Asante, Mungu awabariki kwa kazi njema ambayo mmefanya.
Kweli.
Mungu awabariki sana.
Asante sana. Thank you. I'm here today with Madam Doreen and her counterpart, Madam Naomi. I'm briefly going to ask them questions regarding the mission that has just ended today, and maybe you want to hear from them. Madam Doreen, maybe you can tell us what program did you carry throughout this mission?
Thank you. My name is Doreen, and I was guiding us in health program.
You're doing health program?
Yes.
And maybe Madam Naomi, tell us maybe what was your role in this mission?
My role in this mission was just to stand in for any of the speakers who are not ready, and I handled family life at some points.
That was indeed a difficult role, but anyway, Madam Doreen, maybe you will tell us your experience as a health speaker. What are some of the challenges that you encountered during your presentations?
Well, basically there were less challenges, and I think we were able to manage time well because the program began at 2:30 to the first program, and I appreciate that the people were able to gather together before we begin our programs. They would participate in the program, and it was just a nice session with them.
Okay, maybe last questions for you. Your presentation on health is somehow controversial because maybe the message you're presenting regarding health, people don't like it or don't receive it well. Some of the messages are alien to these people. How did you go about that?
Well, I didn't receive any opposition in regard to what I had shared before. The reason why maybe people will oppose or you'll encounter controversies is if you don't explain and let the people understand the reason why you are bringing certain principles. But the fact that we are able to refer back to the Word of God and come up with principles outrightly, then it was easier for people to understand, and that minimized controversies. So from all the people that maybe saw me aside, most of the people agreed, and they were willing to abide by that which we learned together. Yeah.
Okay, I understand both of you went for visitations, to door-to-door visitations. Yes. Maybe we'll start with Naomi. How was your experience during these visitations? And is there any difference with other missions that you have attended before?
Well, I would love to say that in this area, that is Machakha, we were welcomed. Unlike to some other places where we have visited before, like we could find opposition, but in this area, not did we encounter like any opposition or people chasing us away. So we thank God for that. It was really a nice experience. Of course, we could not lack one or two people who would not want us to pray with them, but they were still hospitable in as much as they didn't want us to pray with them. So I thank God for the experience.
What about you, Doreen?
Well, I would say it was a wonderful experience. I'm already missing it because I think I still have appointments. People thought maybe we'll still continue. We'll have a week more. Unfortunately, we just have to finish today. But I would maybe recommend the leadership to plan on nurturing and retention so that they would follow up on those people who want to study more, those people who are yet to make decisions. And if we'll have more time with them, they will make such a decision.
Now, in terms of results, actually the fruits of the harvest, I don't know whether you met your expectations or what did you expect in terms of the harvest or the souls that got saved from this crusade?
Well, expectation might not really be weighed in regard to the number of people baptized, but I believe the most important thing is to help people understand a certain doctrine or a certain belief, and that should be weighed during house to house or after the study. So in all the houses I visited, from the response in every study we did, people received and accepted the truth. And by the time we were finishing, like some people were like, we are going to share this in our churches. So I appreciate that is enough for me in regard to expectation. But still, I appreciate the 12 souls that God gave himself, because it is not easy. Heaven rejoices at every single soul that gives its life to Jesus. And so the fact that there were more than one, that is enough to thank God, because it wasn't by our efforts, it is God's will and by His Spirit that those people gave their lives to Jesus.
Wow, that's wonderful. Now, because of time, maybe you'll give us your parting shot, maybe recommendations from what you've experienced in this mission. Maybe we'll begin with Naomi.
My recommendation, of course, like much has been done, and we thank God for it. But recommendations will be that maybe in the future we could have forums whereby immediately after the mission, of course it has been there, yeah. But immediately after the mission, like we leave some people like at the grounds. Like we don't have to leave immediately all of us, because, and especially the speakers, because these people, they know the individual speakers who actually gave those lessons. So if we could have a forum whereby like the specific speakers would, remain behind maybe for a month or so, as now they get to, join, or let the people now know that these are the people like who will be handling your questions and all, that would be actually a good thing, rather than just we just do it for 2 weeks and then we just leave, and that would
wow, wonderful. What about you, Doreen?
Well, I will echo the same. There is something we call nurturing and retention. That is something done after a mission has been conducted. And the purpose is to follow up on those souls who had given their lives to Jesus, and even those who are yet to make decisions. So this helps people to still feel at home, because there is that feeling of a separation when now we are leaving all of us at a go, and those people are left just there. So when we have that program, it is easy for us to keep in touch, to mentor people, because after public evangelism, there is house to house, whereby now you have a personal contact with people, you understand the challenges they had, and that gives effective mission, other than just doing a crusade or a mission, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and then you're gone. Then second to that, I would say it is good also if we could have, basically because I'm a health speaker, to have a medical camp 1 week before the 2-week mission, because health message is an entering wage, and most people will respond positively to health message, and that makes them to see a reason and a purpose to come here, so that after they receive the message, they have been attended to in their physical needs, they are able now to join us in the crusade. Yeah.
Wow, thank you for your time, and may God bless you for the dedicated spirit that you have to ensure that people receive the message of God. May God bless you. Thank you for your time. Right. Yeah. Thank you. I believe you've heard from our speakers, and may God bless you as you continue following us.
Good evening once again. Welcome to Webuye, West Machakha County. I am Brian Sukuru. This is KAPOSDA Mission 2023, whereby I was one of the leaders under the spiritual department together with the transport coordination. And it has been so far a fruitful and eventful KAPOSDA mission, whereby we are trying to win souls in this place of Machakha. We want to thank God because so far we've seen the hand of God, and we are still on our venture in trying to finish the mission. Now, this is categorically to help us in the next year's mission. We are trying to encourage each and every one of us, because as associates and students of KAPOSDA, we have our missions yearly, where we select a place so that we can take a mission, so that we can be able to take the three angels message. So this year was no exception, and we want to thank God because He has been faithful, and so far so good. We are at least halfway to the mission. Now, under the mission of this year, which was understanding the writings on the wall, indeed we've seen Christ being manifested in His work, and we want to thank Him because we are seeing that people are really making turnings on the who to follow between the devil and Christ, and indeed we are hoping that the conviction of the Holy Spirit may speak unto them. So we want to welcome and continue asking those who will be watching this video that come next year we shall be having this particular mission to another place, which shall be communicated as earlier as next year beginning. So whatever we are trying to say is that so far the mission has been good. We have done visitations, we have had speakers, we are doing all those manner of things which entails in a mission, and we're having health, we're having Bible studies, we are having, that is also the family life. And I want to believe that together with me and my colleagues, we are blessed, and we are spiritually being nourished day in, day out. And it is a blessing, because there is nothing good like working in God's vineyard. That is what we want to manifest today as young youth, because we are told that young youths have energy, and that is where we've decided to take our energy to, which is working for God. I want to thank you so that as you are watching this video, you may also make that step of faith that next year, as you will be planning to join us again, so that you might be able to work in the Lord's vineyard, because our core mission is taking the three angels message in Matthew 11:28 together with Revelation 14 verse 6 to 9. And may God bless you.